Today, I am walking you through 3 complete Town Hall 10 base designs: a farming base, a ranked base, and a war base. Let us get into it. Starting with the farming base, and the entire philosophy of this design is simple: protect the loot at all costs. The first thing you'll notice is the clan castle sitting dead center of the base. We make it physically impossible for attackers to lure the CC troops during the early phase of an attack. The storages themselves are buried as deep as they can go, not just for protection from heavy attacks, but specifically to shut down the lazy farming strategies. Mass baby dragons, spamming miners, anything that relies on spilling into the base from the outside. None of that reaches the gold and Elixir here, because the compartmentalization forces them further in than those strategies are designed to go. In front of the storages, we have all the main defenses holding the line. Wizard towers, bomb towers, and mortars are stacked as the first real threat layer, specifically because they deal splash damage. Anyone pushing in with a blob of troops hits this wall and starts losing numbers fast. The Inferno towers are set to multi-target mode for this base, which is the right call here because farming attacks rarely bring one big tank, they bring groups, and multi-target chews through groups. And then there are the traps. Giant bombs and spring traps are laid out specifically along the pathing that miners naturally follow when they flood the base. If someone hits you with mass miners, those giant bombs are waiting at exactly the right depth. On the air side, seeking air mines and air bombs are set up to punish baby dragon runs. Those seeking air mines in particular are positioned where baby dragons cluster once they start pulling to the core, and the timing is enough to collapse those attacks before they get real value.
This base does not need to stop every attack. It just needs to make sure that when someone does break through, they leave with far less than they came for. If this kind of thoughtful base design is exactly what you have been looking for, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. I've got more of these coming for every Town Hall level. Now let us move into the ranked base, because this one is built with a completely different mindset. Here, we are not protecting loot, we are protecting stars. The Town Hall sits in an inner compartment, and it does not sit alone. The geared archer tower, the geared cannon, the archer queen, and the minion prince are all in there with it. That compartment is not just defended, it is a kill zone. Here is the most important strategic layer on this base. The air sweepers are both facing north. That means any air attacker looking for a clean approach is going to naturally drift to the south entry, thinking they can avoid the sweep. When they do that, they walk directly into the Town Hall compartment, which has the heroes, the clan castle positioned just in front of it, and multiple defenses covering that southern corridor. By the time they deal with all of that, their troop count is wrecked. What is left after the Town Hall push is not enough to clear the remaining infernos for the 3 stars. For ground attacks, the splash defenses and the traps handle the heavy lifting. Wizard towers and bomb towers are scattered across every section of the base, not grouped, scattered, so there is always splash coverage no matter which direction the troops are walking. Giant bombs and spring traps sit on the most predictable hog rider paths. Attackers burning into this base with hogs will find traps almost everywhere they naturally funnel, because those paths were accounted for during the build. Air bombs and seeking air mines are positioned in front of the main defenses, creating a buffer against any air troop trying to surgically target the core.
And the storage buildings in this base are actually being used as a defensive tool. They're placed in front of key defenses like the Infernos, Expos, and air defenses. Since storages have massive hit points, they act as a meat shield, making attackers spend extra time and troops clearing buildings that deal no damage, just to get line of sight on what actually matters. Now, let us shift into the war base, and this is where things get creative. The entire design philosophy here is unpredictability. The core of this base is built around the Expos, and the setup is deliberate. All Expos are clustered in the core specifically to maximize their long-range damage overlap. But around those Expos, we've constructed dead zones. Buildings are spaced to create gaps that troops naturally avoid, which means instead of marching straight toward the core, troops are being redirected around it. That kills funnels. If an attacker has not built a precise funnel with perfect spell support, their troops are going to wander the outside of this base instead of cracking the center. And if someone does manage to funnel properly toward the Expos, giant bombs are waiting directly in front of them. A good funnel on this base gets punished hard. The Inferno towers are separated, and that separation is intentional. One placed in a northern island compartment, the other near the town hall in the south. Two Infernos that far apart cannot both be cleared by a single push. You have to commit forces in two completely different directions, and most Town Hall 10 attacks do not have the troop depth for that. The Town Hall compartment itself is reinforced with one Inferno tower, both heroes, and bomb towers. Getting a clean Town Hall in this war base means surviving everything else first.
Air attacks on this base face a layered problem. One air sweeper faces north, the other faces south. The east and west flanks are covered by dead zones that disrupt air troop pathing in a way that is hard to predict from the attack screen. Air defenses are placed specifically to cover air threats in areas where the main defenses have gaps, so there is never a clean corridor through the sky. And just like the ranked base, the spacing of air defenses shuts down the giant arrow and lightning earthquake combination. Attackers trying to strip air defenses efficiently are going to find that no two are close enough to chain. Wizard towers and bomb towers are spread across the entire base to punish group-based ground strategies. Miners, hog riders, anything that moves in packs is eating splash damage everywhere it goes. Giant bombs and spring traps sit on the most predictable hog paths, and seeking air mines along with air bombs are set just in front of the main defenses to intercept dragons, balloons, and similar air threats before they start landing hits on the critical structures. Storage buildings are used the same way as the ranked base, placed in front of defensive buildings as high HP buffers, forcing attackers to burn through them before they can pressure what matters. The result is a base that constantly asks attackers to solve a different problem than they expected. Dead zones shift troop pathing. Separated Infernos demand a split strategy. The Town Hall compartment punishes anyone who thinks they can rush the center. And the trap placements are designed around the most common Town Hall 10 attack patterns so that the base is already one step ahead. That is all three bases. A farming base that locks your loot behind layers that cheap strategies cannot reach, a ranked base that controls how and where attackers engage, and a war base designed to make sure no plan survives contact with the layout. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me which of these three base types you are taking into your game first. And if you want me to cover a different Town Hall level next, let me know which one in the comments. Subscribe so you do not miss the next base video. Until next time, keep clashing.